Welcome to episode 16 of the Sweet Natured Cruisecast. Hi, I'm Linz, as always I'm joined by Marky.
Hello.
Hello, and today we're talking about cruising versus cold cruising. But first, a little mood music.
What did you think to today's mood music?
Are you just using the 12-inch mega mix of the same song and just using the same, different bits?
No, the different
Why
songs.
does it always sound the same but slightly different?
Right, you've asked for this. The next episode, you're going to have something very different.
I hope so.
I'm just trying to fit into like a mood and sort of ease people into it.
The mood's rubbish.
Fine. In which case, next episode, something very different.
Thank you.
Is
It
that?
doesn't set a tone. It's not set a tone.
It's
Hot
not-
versus cold.
Well, I thought it kind of did, but obviously not. Anyway, shall we move on to the subject of which you just touched on there? So this was your topic. You wanted to talk about cold cruising versus hot cruising, looking at the sort of pros and cons to each.
Why do you always, if you feel it's going to be rubbish, point out that it's my topic?
I'm not pointing out that if it's rubbish. If it is rubbish, you picked it. But no, because I would expect you to lead on it more because this is what you decided we want to talk about today.
Okay.
So, should we start by looking at the pros first, the
Of what?
positive things?
The positive things of which?
Hot.
Okay.
Okay. So, do you want to start off?
Number one, it's hot.
Lindsay and her stating the obvious.
No, I mean,
But what if you don't like hot weather?
well, that is a good point, but that would be a con. But we're talking pros. Yeah, you can very much, if it's hot, you know it's going to be hot.
I think one of the things with it being warmer, it will generally mean, and I'm sure we'll come back to the opposite side of this as we're talking about it,
Yeah.
that you probably have to pack less. You're not going to be layered up as much.
You're going to pack thinner things,
yeah,
not
you-
necessarily
yeah.
less. Yeah.
Yeah. True, yeah. You're going to pack thinner, lighter clothing.
Mm-hmm.
So it makes it easier for your luggage allowance,
Yes.
I would have thought.
Well, yeah.
Like, certainly sort of big, heavy coats tend to weigh more.
And you talk to me about stating the obvious.
Oh, I didn't go with it's hot.
Yeah, I know. I hear what you're saying.
I think for me, one of the other things with the sort of warm weather cruising, and
Mhm.
we've experienced this recently when we were on this last Virgin one,
Yes.
that you're pretty much guaranteed the sail away parties to be outside. And whereas when we were on Virgin, it were sort of dark, it were colder when we left, so we didn't get to have that one at that point. Whereas whenever we've cruised out of sort of warmer climates, you get to have that big celebration.
I guess
pulling
so.
away.
I guess so, yeah. But it's not always guaranteed with the UK. I mean, it could be a rainy, cloudy day depending on where you're going out of.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, following on from that, again, we'll talk about Virgin, but this is relevant to lots of other cruise lines. Increasingly, they have their theme nights, or the gala nights, or the parties. They have elements of them that are outside,
Who?
like the White Nights on MSC, Azamara.
Yeah.
They have sort of top deck
Yes.
grills and celebrations.
Yeah.
They have outside eateries, like on
Yeah.
Celebrity. What's the grill one on the Apex one?
It was never open.
Its name's escaping me at this point. But when we were on that, it just never opened because
It's
of
near the-
expectation.
Yeah,
might be.
pickleball court. Tell us, what is that called? We can't remember.
We'll remember on
I
that.
think it's speciality as well.
And I think that the whole dining element, I've kind of rolled into another one on that.
Okay.
You get to dine al fresco a lot more. Cut me with the fancy word on a Tuesday evening. You get to sort of enjoy it a little bit more eating outside, even if you're eating at the back of for instance, the buffet where they have like an outside area, or the galley type places. Certainly the top deck grill type stuff.
Yeah.
And a lot of the fancier restaurants, including, for instance, I think it was Queen Mary 2, you correct me if I'm wrong, the veranda had an outside area
Well,
Am I remembering that right, or was that Queen Elizabeth?
I think it's Queen Elizabeth, but they also, on Ventura, the Epicurean has an outside bit as well.
It does, yeah.
Yeah, so you're right, you can take more advantage when it's warmer of those types of areas,
Yeah.
activities. Yeah.
Yeah, you absolutely can.
Yeah.
Any other pros that you can think of?
Apart from the luggage allowance and the lighter clothes and being able to do things outside.
Okay.
I'm going to say excursions are probably nicer for you as well. If you're going out and about, your ports will be nicer.
For just having a wander, for sure. See, the excursions I would have as a pro in the cold one as well, and we'll get onto that in a second.
Okay.
But it definitely makes it easier to probably just get off at the ports and not have to plan to do an excursion if you know the weather's going back.
Yeah, you're right. You can find a nice bar and
sit out.
Yeah, people walk.
They'll go by, have a walk on the harbour.
Yeah. Because there's sideways rain is never fun.
No. And I think if you know the weather's going to be cold, then you have to plan around that accordingly.
And it can get more expensive then, because then you're more likely to need to go indoors, maybe visit a tourist attraction, or get some food.
Or maybe you want to even get off the ship.
Or not get off the ship and stay cosy.
Yeah.
Yes. So, yeah, I agree. Well,
thank you. Should we have a look at or talk about some pros to cold weather cruising?
Yes.
Now, when I'm talking cold weather cruising, when you said to me, let's talk about this on the podcast, I immediately went to things like doing the fjords, doing Alaska. I wasn't thinking about just going out of Portsmouth in a UK summer. So when I'm talking cold weather, I'm not just where it's like there's an expectation.
The destination will have a cooler temperature and from where you start.
Yeah, there's a chance of snow, there's a chance of glaciers. That's more what I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
So for me, the cold weather cruising will generally have more impressive scenery.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that, when you go to, for instance, the Adriatic and you go to Kotor and Dubrovnik, it's absolutely stunning.
Yeah.
But it's a different type of scenery that you're seeing a lot more greenery.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, I totally agree. And also the skies are beautiful, huge skies, starry nights.
Well, you've got a chance of, depending where you're going, at what time of year as well, but a chance of seeing things like the Northern Lights.
Yep.
You're not as even though you do get them in sort of a little bit in the lower hemisphere now, not as often, but you've got a far better chance of seeing them sort of as you go a little bit.
Yeah, they're saying that. I'm just trying to think, because when we've seen people do Antarctica cruises, then they go when it's the southern hemisphere's summer, which of course is January.
Our winter.
It is our winter. Yeah, it's light a lot, so they haven't seen the southern lights as they are.
Yeah.
Nobody's ever reported it, but I'm sure. Well,
if you say no one's ever reported it,
I mean on one of those expedition cruises.
Yeah. Not that we've seen.
Not that we've seen, and maybe it's just because of the time of year. So yes, in respect of going north, Northern Lights, Mare Wales.
Yeah, you've probably also a lot better chance of seeing more wildlife. It's not that you don't see wildlife in the Med, you do. You see dolphins and all sorts.
Yeah, and those little flying fishes.
Yep.
And so you do see some wildlife, but fjords, not as much as Alaska.
Yeah.
But again, beautiful. The scenery is stunning.
I think
stunning.
One of the other pros to the cold weather cruising is, if this is what you're after, they tend to be much more relaxed cruises. Where it's warmer, it seems to be more
a longer day.
A longer day and more sort of
activities,
type things.
Yeah, more.
When it's colder weather, you're not likely to have a pool party starting at 11 o'clock at night.
No, I wouldn't want to. Even me. Even late night Lindsay won't want to go.
Late night Lindsay would be there because she'd be at that point 90% proof as opposed to 80% proof. That's the only way she'd get in.
Oh,
But
late night.
I don't think that they are as intense from sort of that party type thing. They tend to be much more
No, I
relaxing.
understand.
And if you want to just have a good relaxing cruise,
Mm-hmm.
I would say the cold weather cruises probably lend themselves more, even on the same cruise ship. So if you compare MSC and Princess in cold weather compared to hot weather, you'll find that the atmosphere is very different.
Oh, definitely. Definitely.
I also think that, let's talk about packing to a degree, 'cause I'll come back to it as a negative to cold.
Yeah, because it is an obvious one.
But the cold weather cruising also tends to be less formal. Now, that might be a pro or a con.
Depending on
whether you like really formal cruising or you don't.
Yeah.
I think these days, increasingly, people who we speak to prefer it to be a little bit less formal.
I can't imagine Cunard's any less formal, regardless of the temperature.
No, but I think that's airline.
Yeah.
If you looked at Holland America or Princess, for example.
That we've done Princess.
We've done that in the cold and in the warm.
Mm-hmm.
And the cold one is definitely less formal.
Yeah.
So I think, if there's that side of it. One of the other pros for me, for the cold weather cruising, is they tend to have very unique excursions that you can't really do anywhere else.
And by unique, though, this is a negative. You mean pricey?
Well, that's in the cons.
That's what I'm saying. It's a con.
But not that it's a con.
It's a con.
But in terms of the pros, you're not going to be able to walk on a glacier or go sledging with huskies in the Med in summer. I wouldn't expect.
Give it a 50.
You can go sledging, kind of, tobogganing in Madeira.
Oh, you can, down in the little sleighs.
But that requires a very steep hill and 2 men.
You, darling.
But the sort of more unique excursions that you can do, I do think, including to a degree, when you go to places like fjords, you're going sort of high up the mountains, you're going up in cable cars, and so when you look at the Alaska side of it, then you're doing the seaplanes, you are going on glaciers and salmon fishing, that sort of thing.
Okay.
Just a little bit different.
Okay.
What other pros can you think of for cold weather cruising?
Not having to worry about all the suntan lotion. Saying that, though, we got a sneaky sunburn.
I was just about to correct you there, because we thought we don't have to worry about it. It was only for like a few hours, so we lied down and don't get sunburned.
I mean, that is the first time we've been sunburned on a cruise in like forever.
It's the first time that we've been sunburned, just full stop, because we're normally very, very careful.
I'm so careful. I don't tan. I burn, yes. Tan, no. I've never had a tan.
And you're not likely to get it when you're in a cold weather cruise.
No,
but that doesn't mean you're not going to get some.
It snuck up on us and it surprised us.
Yeah, it does. Anything else you can think of from the positives?
For the cold weather.
Yes.
You kind of know what weather you're getting. You don't.
How do you, though? Because I found it more changeable.
You do. You know it's going to be changeable. That's the thing. The only constant is change.
Okay, so what you know you're getting is change.
You know you're prepared for it. You're not disappointed. You're like, oh, I expected this heavy rain today. I expected it to be freezing today. Oh, the sun, what a surprise, how lovely. You're not disappointed.
Okay. Shall we talk about some cons then?
Okay.
Let's go back to the hot weather then.
Mm-hmm.
For me, one of the sort of big negatives for where it's a warm weather cruise is that the outside spaces tend to be really busy.
Oh, yeah.
So pool decks in particular are packed from very early morning. If you want to get one of the sort of prime sort of loungers,
now
up early.
If you like to reserve a lounger, and I'm not judging, but if you like to reserve a lounger by putting a book on your lounger, don't just put the book just neatly on the lounger. Open it up to a page and turn it over.
So it looks like you've been reading.
Yeah, and also make that book really interesting so that people think, I'm not moving that book because that person's obviously hardcore.
So would you have it as are you recommending a more risque book?
No, I'm thinking something about murder and psychopaths. Put that on the, maybe even the odd dictator. Put that on the sun lounger. Nobody's asking your book to be removed.
So is that your top tip?
Yes.
Yeah, not that we're condoning people to just
Oh,
leave.
people do it. I don't do it. I'm a good girl.
Yeah.
I don't do it.
No.
I have seen it occur. But if you're going to do it, make sure no one they look at that book and go, no way. No way.
But we have done it where we've known that it's going to be busy, and we've been, because we tend to be quite early risers anyway, unless Late Night Linda's been out. If we're sort of up early, we've been in, sort of got a lounger at 6:30 in the morning, but had breakfast there and stayed there, been there for a few hours.
And then when we've seen people arrive, we've given them a wave. We're very nice, we're sweet natured. We give them a wave and say, "Hi, come over here. We're about to leave." And then make sure they come over. We get all our towels together, and they're thrilled. And that's a nice thing to do.
It is. When it's a warm weather place from an excursion.
I feel we went off on a tangent there.
Well, you went off on a sort of how to intimidate people with a dodgy book. When it's warm weather, walking excursions in certain places. So again, I'll talk about the Med, but this can equally apply in the Caribbean, wherever else you go, it's warm. If you're going to places like, for instance, Greece, and you're going there in summer and you want to go to the Acropolis,
and it's 35 degrees or in 100.
And there's 4,000 people queuing in front of you, not an exaggeration, to get into the Acropolis, that can be a really hard day's work and uncomfortable, and it cannot be enjoyable.
No. We bared left and went to that lovely wine bar and just looked at it.
We saw the queue and went, nah. And it wasn't even that hot relatively.
No, because I can't do midsummer.
So I think that's something else that you've got to take into account, that if you're going on sort of where it becomes a hot weather cruise as opposed to a warm weather cruise.
Yeah, I'm not.
When it is that, you've got to think about the excursions really carefully. 'Cause there is that temptation when you go to places like Rome or Greece and you want to see the big sort of wonders, you want to see the Colosseum, you want to see the Acropolis, that, we must go to that. But make sure to check the weather in advance, because if it is one of those hot days, you're not going to have fun at all.
No fun. No. And we like fun.
It can, follow on from that, it can be too hot. This is picking the cruises.
It's too hot.
Yeah, but we're from north of England. As soon as it gets over 25 degrees, we're like, yeah, that'll do.
I can feel the hair curling on my head.
You have that Monica bit going on. Hair where it just curls instantly.
And it's all wet and horrible.
But some people love the heat.
I thought some people love wet and horrible. I don't think so.
I'm not saying that they don't, but one of the other sort of negatives, and this applies whether you're on a cruise or in a hotel or anything.
Okay.
Yeah. If you someone who doesn't like to sleep with the aircon on, maybe you have a condition where it dries you out and you don't like that, you like it with sort of the door open.
I like a window or a door open.
It can be a lot harder to sleep. So, it's just one of those things. Anything else that you can think of for hot weather that's a negative that we haven't touched on?
It's super busy. It can also be really expensive when it's really hot because you're in peak season.
I mean, not necessarily, because it depends where you're going in the world, and what you can...
Oh, the summer holidays, holidays.
School holidays can be incredibly expensive. You can see the prices double to what they are sort of 2 weeks before.
Yeah, okay.
So, pricing, definitely.
Yeah.
Cold weather. Shall I state the obvious compared to it's hot?
Mm-hmm.
It's cold.
It is cold, but
not as cold as I were expecting it to be.
I don't know. I mean, I would like to go on an Arctic Circle cruise, and I think they're pretty cold.
Yeah, they are. But one of the cruise lines that you go on, especially if it's expedition cruising, tend to give you the jackets to wear when you're going off there.
Yeah.
Or you're going to go prepared for it anyway.
Yeah. You need to be prepared. You're not just going with a windbreaker and a baseball cap. You need to get wrapped up.
And I think that brings us back on sort of one of the earlier points at the opposite side of it, that packing becomes a lot more strategic.
Yes.
You're probably going to need to seriously think about increasing your luggage allowance.
If you're flying, yes.
And generally speaking, you're probably going to do it if you're going to one of the really cold places.
Yeah.
If you're going up to the fjords, well, you might be coming out of Southampton
If you're in the UK, yeah.
But if you're not from the UK, you're probably going to...
Yeah, because it's like us going to Alaska or something. Yeah, you've got to be really careful. And you've got to... There's another Friends reference. Joey Tribbiani on the plane and totally wear all the clothes.
But then you're too warm on the plane.
But I get cold on the plane.
Well, you wouldn't do if you Tribbiani'd it.
I still get, for some reason, I get really cold on the plane.
They keep it quite cold, though, don't they?
Yeah. Ding.
One of the other bits to consider on the cold weather cruising, because of how changeable the weather is, you touched on earlier, is be prepared for excursions to be cancelled at short.
Yeah, that can happen.
We saw that on our recent Alaska, where when we went into Juneau, it was raining, the clouds were very low, so anyone that had the helicopter excursions to the glaciers, they were cancelled.
Yeah, and they're very pricey, so you've laid out quite a lot of money. You do, but it's a hassle.
It is, and you might be going there, and that's one of your bucket list things to go up on the glaciers and the helicopters.
Come back.
And I think you've just got to be prepared that you are going to somewhere where the weather changes a lot, and therefore you need a better change.
Yeah.
Because of that, it's the opposite of the pool deck in summer on the hot cruises. The inside spaces, the bars and the cafes, tend to be really busier most of the time.
Yeah.
And that can mean finding a couple of chairs or a table can be really challenging on sea days.
Yeah.
Because we've seen it on colder weather cruises where you go up onto the top deck around the pool area and there's literally nobody up there.
No.
You go inside.
And it's heaving.
There's no chairs or tables anywhere.
No, but you might find a nice, quiet hot tub, which we like a cold hot. Well,
we like a hot tub in the cold.
Yeah, we like that.
We don't like a cold.
No.
That's nice.
But I don't like getting out, and then one of us always has to get out and gets the towels for the other one. Well, very kind.
You say that one of us always has to. When has it ever been you?
It's been me.
When?
It's been me.
I think you'll find that
marriage counselling.
I think you'll find that I'm the gentleman, and I will generally get out and get you the to keep you warm.
But you've got less things to keep you cold, though. You've got less clothing on.
Well, yeah,
you can dry off quicker than me.
Is that the thing? Yeah. Okay, let's go with that. Another negative.
Mm-hmm.
Again, following on from that sort of it being busy inside.
Yeah.
The inside activities that they run tend to be incredibly popular.
Oh, yeah,
if you book them.
Yeah.
They fill up quickly. Yeah. So it means booking them as soon as you can get on. If it's ones such as the quiz, then on a summer cruise, hot weather cruise, you can probably tip up to the quiz 5-10 minutes before.
Yeah.
You'll find that there's people turning up to the quizzes and getting their tables 45 minutes.
Oh, they've been there all day and they've got the knitting.
Or they're just staying there.
Yeah. Can I do a con one?
You absolutely can.
Because they tend to be bucket list destinations, they are very pricey.
Yeah, the cold weather cruising tends to be more expensive in our experience.
From what we've experienced, yeah, it's very, very pricey because it's a bucket list things. Oh, in search of the Northern Lights, we're going to charge you $3,000 for a balcony per person. Thanks. I don't think that's right. I mean, that's not nice, is it? That's not kind. That's not the sweet-natured way.
But should it be half price?
Well, I'm not saying it should be half price, but you shouldn't be able to go to the Canaries for.
But is there a case that when it's a cold weather cruise, the people are eating more, drinking more, because they're staying inside more and not going to the other ones? Does it cost the cruises more? I'm hypothesizing as to why.
Okay. I think they're just because it's a bucket list place.
Well, I think bucket list ones they do charge more for. There's only so many that they do. People want to do them, so that's supply different.
Routes, and with the Northern Lights, if they don't see the Northern Lights while you're on it, there's a guarantee where you can.
I'm not sure that they do that anymore.
You don't?
They definitely used to do that. And let us know in the comments if they still do it.
Okay. I've not cost. Well, I did. That's a lie. I did cost it. Again, it was over £3,500
per person.
Per person to go. And also you drop off other people's post. And I'm sorry, I'm not doing that.
You don't personally have to get out and act like Postman Pat. It's just
I want to.
if they're going to some of these very remote places, they've got space on the ship.
Maybe that's what I want to do. Can I have a discount if I drop it off?
If you personally become the post person.
Can I have a peak cat?
Postman Lynch.
No, don't sing. We've lost us what we're talking about.
Well, we
just
have.
Imagining me dressed as a postman.
I'm definitely imagining you dressed as a postman. It's not good. You've also got, if you, someone like us, we generally prefer a balcony cabin.
Yes.
If you're having a balcony cabin in the cold weather cruise,
Mm-hmm.
you're going to get less chance to sit out there and enjoy it. You'll go out there and stand and look at the views and stuff, but you're not going to spend hours on that.
No, but it does mean you've got easy access. For example, if they put the Northern Lights announcement out, you don't have to go and throw all your clothes on and go on the top deck. You can just,
absolutely,
throw more clothes on.
But what if they're not on your side of the ship?
Oh, that's a good. You're going upstairs.
But you are going to spend a lot less time on it, and I do get where people will take maybe an ocean view or an inside cabin on those ones. One, because they're cheaper. And as you said, the cruises are expensive to start with.
Yeah.
So a cost-effective way.
I think that's the only way.
You're not necessarily spend that much time out there anyway.
No.
So
the only thing is I can't have it my door open at night, but if we're in...
To have the aircon on.
Do you need the aircon on, though, when you're in the Arctic Circle?
Don't know. It depends how warm they have the ship, doesn't it?
I don't know if I'd like that. Because I just think a little bit of fresh air. Am I the only one?
No, I think a lot of people will like that as well. I don't like that we can have the door up. I like going out on the balcony. I'm just saying you're not going to get to use it as much. If you're in a warmer climate, not a hot one, if it's 25 degrees, you're going to better have breakfast out there. You're going to better sit out in the evening.
Take full benefit of your balcony.
If you just have a bit of a chill hour, you can just enjoy it.
Love a chill hour on the balcony.
Which you can't really do that when it's that cold.
No, we did it in Alaska, though, because the whales came up to see me.
My final negative for the cold weather cruise.
Oh, okay.
You might have some after that.
No.
Is that the pools can often be closed for the entire cruise.
Just crank them up. Make them toasty. Let's all get in the pool.
It'd be warm. Is this so then to can have a pool party?
No, it's not so I can have a pool party. I like a swim.
But we have seen it on a couple of the cold weather cruises we've had where the main pools have been closed for the duration.
It was on the Princess had the pool out, yeah.
The main pool was closed for the entire duration.
She didn't have any water in.
No, it was closed. And it wasn't because it was rough seas.
No, I like a pool. I like to be able to swim. I like it so I can get in.
And there also tends to be far fewer outdoor activities as well. But that seems obvious if it's wet or cold.
Yeah, but for swimmers, not gymmers, a pool is a nice thing.
It is, yeah. Any final thoughts on hot versus cold? Which do you personally prefer?
I like to do both.
Well, that's a cop-out.
No, that's a lie. I like to do cold and I like to do warm. I'm not a hot person.
No. So you're that in the sort of mid to high 20s top end.
So about 70 to 80 degrees Fahrenheit.
Yeah. That's your comfortable spot.
I think so because I'm no fun when I'm hot. I'm no fun when I'm cold.
You just have to, you're the Goldilocks. You just need that middle ground where it's perfect for you.
As usual, it's all about me. Yeah. But yeah, I hope that's, it's given us some clarity about.
Yeah, it is.
We both like both.
Yeah, both are great on it. I would do a cruise whether it's cold or hot. It's
the bumpy that gets you.
Yeah, which doesn't always come with it being cold or hot.
No, it doesn't.
It gets a bit windy.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyway, we've got our first ever cruise confession.
Oh, I've been waiting for this.
Yeah, and you don't know this?
No,
so,
no.
Same as with the stories, the topic we talked about, but the cruise confession you've not heard before.
No.
So, you may have heard Sam and Mayo do these in the past.
Somebody else will get sued.
We're not getting sued. The confessions are there.
No, we're getting sued.
We were inspired by that.
No.
You decide afterwards whether you personally forgive the people. Then we put it out to the audience.
I'm worried we're getting sued.
We're not. We're fine. And then people can decide themselves.
I don't like this. I'm uncomfortable already because I feel that.
Are you ready for so?
We're going to get a cease and desist letter.
Well, if we do, it's the one and only cruise confession. But we have got some more lined up. And if you have got a cruise confession, if you just get in touch with us on
it's something else.
Well, it's cruise confessions.
Can it not be
that is
confessions of a cruiser?
No, because we're getting dangerously into the 1970s confessions of a window cleaner type thing at that point. I've now got that theme music in my head.
Song in your head. This is your life, Timmy. I've never seen it.
I need to get an instrumental version of that to play as the intro for the next cruise confession. That's my job for next time. Instrumental version of that. As long as it's royalties free.
I need to put the washer on. I've just been reminded.
Okay, so are you ready for the first ever cruise confession? So this is from someone who shall just be known as Jamie.
We're not changing the names.
No, I can give a name, so that might be that person's real name. It might not be their real name. They're known as Jamie. So Jamie was excited to be sailing up the Pacific coast towards San Francisco.
Okay.
Lovely area. Wanted to make sure, as he was coming into San Francisco the following morning, that he didn't miss the sailing under the Golden Gate Bridge.
I can understand that. Yeah.
We've made sure that we're sort of up for when we've gone under bridges in the past.
We like going under a bridge. I love it when there's a train going over as well.
Absolutely. So before going to bed, Jamie set the alarm based on when the ship was due to be approaching San Francisco. I'm guessing they told him what time.
Yeah.
So the following morning, Jamie was woken up very early by the alarm.
Yeah.
Scared that he'd miss seeing the sailing under the bridge.
Yeah.
And being able to take some pictures and stuff.
Yeah.
Literally jumped out of bed.
Okay.
Bolted to the balcony.
Yeah.
Again, worried that he's going to miss this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
Yeah.
But no, timed it perfectly. Got there just as they were approaching the bridge. Stood there in awe, admiring the view.
Yeah.
However, in his sort of sleepy days, and the rush to get to the bridge, to get to the balcony.
Oh no!
Didn't realise until he'd been stood there a while and heard a few gasps.
Oh!
That he was on his own balcony, completely naked.
And I'm guessing he'd not been to the bathroom first, so he just man in the morning.
He was man in the morning. Well, you assuming man. Jamie could be a woman. It wasn't, it was a man. Now, normally on a cruise balcony, it's not a problem because whilst you might get the odd boat going past, it's not likely to better see anything because from a distance, things are even smaller. So it's not normally a problem. Obviously, if you're in port.
Obviously, if you're a man in the morning.
Well, there could be other things going on. But Jamie had one of those balconies that's like a stadium balcony.
No,
where the other ones are stacked above. So any of the balconies, so any of the balconies above you
can look straight
down as you're stretching and enjoying the view of the San Francisco Golden Gate Bridge.
Wow!
So obviously, Jamie heard the gasp, went back inside, got dressed, and I'm assuming went back outside afterwards with some clothes on.
We'll never know.
We won't because that bit he didn't actually say.
Right.
So Jamie is asking for forgiveness from us.
It's me for forgiveness.
From us and our audience, but also for those passengers who were above the balcony, who let out the shot gas and got more of a view than they were expecting that morning.
I'm honestly, darling, I'm so uncomfortable right now because not only am I picturing this person naked, I'm just, who I'll probably dream about tonight, and it won't be the first time. But also, I'm worried we're getting sued. Can we not come up with something else?
Well, we're on with this at this point.
We need to workshop this.
Well, this is a live workshop. So, are you forgiving this person? For me personally, it was clearly an accident. They jumped out of bed, excited to see the bridge, We don't know how excited they were to see the bridge.
Well, I wouldn't say very.
And I can understand how that happened. And for me, it was accidental. So therefore, I'm saying forgiven.
I'm not. I'm going to.
No one was hurt, really.
No, I'm just.
And I'm sure a few of the people had a laugh and a chortle about it as well.
Yeah.
I would do. If I were on one of the other balconies and saw someone went out naked, I'd find that funny.
You would find it funny.
I would. So forgiven or not forgiven?
I'm not using the word. I'm not getting sued. They can sue you. Do I feel for this person? Yes. Am I using any terminology that could come from a popular segment of a popular show? No. They can come for you.
Okay, and that's the end of the first story then. Hopefully there will be more.
We need like a safety word that we can use that this is what we say when we let it slide.
Okay, we'll come up with something for the next one. Shall we go on to the news
Be a
story?
jaunty pun.
News stories.
Okay, I'm still uncomfortable.
Well, you don't need to be uncomfortable about this one. So the first news story, I think you might like this one.
Really?
Yeah. The Norwegian Aqua, which is the new
one.
Prima Plus class ship that is due out next year.
They've got a lovely transatlantic.
Actually.
Yeah, quite reasonable, but it's straight across.
Yeah, it's just straight. Now, Norwegian Cruise Line is quite well known for doing its tribute shows.
Yeah.
And it does them in a big, sort of outstanding big show type thing, as opposed to just someone in a bar. And they've announced a tribute for a particular icon that has not been done on any of the cruise ships up to now.
Who is it?
And it's called Revolution, a celebration of Prince.
Ooh.
Now, you're a big Prince fan.
I love Prince. Very tiny person. Huge.
Alan.
Oh, for goodness.
So they're doing
I'm thinking about Jamie again.
They're doing an immersive Prince tribute show. And it's one of the exclusive options on there.
Okay.
But they're also doing an expanded version of one of their shows, which is their highest guest-rated show.
Okay.
Called Elements. Never seen it, so I can't really talk about it that much, but they're doing a sort of new version of that. What do you think about the Prince show? Would you like to see the Prince tribute show? You like the George Michael tribute one that we saw on P&O Iona.
I knew every song.
You did?
I knew every song. And he knew that I knew every song.
Well, you can see it on sort of our Iona videos where you're sort of clapping along and singing, and even the more obscure ones. You knew every word, didn't you?
Yeah.
Second news story.
Okay.
The Serenade of the Seas.
Okay.
Which was Royal Caribbean's one that they did the world cruise on.
Oh, that one, okay.
It's just finished on the 10th of September, its world cruise. Yeah. So it started back in December.
Yeah.
Just finished on the 10th of that. Now, there were a lot of passengers that did the whole bit, but you could also buy it in
segments
as well.
Yeah.
But it's the longest ever world cruise that Royal Caribbean have done.
Yeah.
And they posted some interesting facts on there. So this is kind of a news story and some stats, but I thought they were quite interesting.
Okay.
So it sailed continuously for 274 days.
Wow.
It did 75,015 miles.
Yowzers.
Visited 65 countries.
Lovely.
Saw 8 wonders of the world.
Thought there were only 7.
Apparently there's 8.
I'm guessing these are new wonders.
I'm guessing so. Because it includes Machu Picchu, Colosseum, and other places.
Okay, I want to do the ancient ones.
Yeah.
Even the ones that I want to go find the ones that
find the new old ones
of Babylon.
Oh, yeah, I don't think that was on there. They had 5,877 birthdays on board.
I thought you were going to say births.
No, that'd have been very impressive.
Okay.
There were 103 different nationalities of passengers.
Okay.
So it shows how many people were interested in doing this worldwide. And then the final stat that they put out that I thought were an interesting stat, but I thought were quite low. They had 1,174 haircuts. But that doesn't seem that many.
I'm the same.
I would have thought it would have been a lot higher than that.
No.
But yeah, so it's finished its journey. And I just thought they were quite interesting. So News story-ish.
Right to know how many cocktails.
They didn't put that.
Mm.
I'd love to know how many cocktails.
Yeah.
Because we know when we did that Enchanted Princess one, they hit 70,000 in a day because they announced it. So I would imagine it were quite a lot.
Yeah.
And the final news story.
Okay.
Virgin Voyages.
Yes, love Virgin.
Is going to have announced that they're going to start doing weddings on board.
Oh, lovely. I like this.
So it's weddings and vow renewals.
Okay.
So if you're already married like we are, then you can do a vow renewal on there.
Mm-hmm.
They haven't given out a lot of details on them yet.
Oh, like pricing, right?
No.
Okay.
I have filled in the form.
You filled in the form?
To get the details.
Okay.
And
I don't know what my fiancé Justin will say about that.
On the recent celebration cruises that they did, Richard Branson officiated 3 weddings. So they did one each.
Got into that.
Well, what they have said is he ain't going to be giving up his full-time day job.
No.
For that, they will be having other people.
Honeymoon that we went on, we went on the Virgin Holidays.
On Virgin Atlantic as well.
And he signed our honeymoon certificate.
He did, hand signed it. We've still got that. It's in our wedding book.
It is, yeah. So, hopefully that's his signature.
So the weddings and the vow renewals go on sale for Virgin later this year in autumn. It just says autumn. So sometime in the next 3 months.
Yeah, I bet they're fun.
And the for weddings starting from next summer.
Yeah.
So summer 2025.
Oh, nice.
What would you like to see them doing on them? What would make it a Virgin wedding for you?
Well,
because there's literally no details out on them.
Well,
so it's your chance to create your.
I mean, I guess you could have a really special Scarlet night one where you wear red, and then
sort of in the wedding on Scarlet night.
Yeah, and then you jump in the pool.
So you have a wed wedding dress.
Oh, a red wedding! What could happen?
I don't know any things with red wedding that have ended badly. You could arrange to have some violins playing and some archers nearby.
Do you remember that day when I'd read the book and I had to sit there and
for Game of Thrones?
You had to watch the episode, and then when you watched it, you were like, "What else are you keeping from me?" Do you know how hard that was? Anywho,
yeah, you're terrible at sort of secrets when it comes to like anything like that. The fact that you kept that from me for nearly a year was both impressive and worrying.
It's a wedding.
So you'd like to see them doing some Scarlet Night themed ones? That'd be interesting if they did them.
I mean, everybody'd get on board with that, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it'd be. So I don't know if you'd do it during the sort of
but like on the lead up, that'd be nice.
That'd be a very
Virgin thing to do.
But we have said before that Virgin also has some of the sort of fanciest dressed people on any cruise ship. So I can also see the weddings on there being incredibly glamorous.
I'd love to go to a wedding on a Virgin Voyages.
Yeah, I would.
I'd love that.
Yeah. Where would you like the weddings to be held on there? Where do you think the best
location on the ship?
Yeah, because obviously all the ships are pretty much the same. So
I want to say, well, my favourite, the dock house at the back.
So the dock bar at the back, the outside bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that for me would be right up there.
For a little wedding, for a small wedding, and then
it's a big area that.
It's all right, but nice for a little, with that would be lovely. And then further up,
I'm guessing that they might consider, depending on the weather.
Yeah.
Because obviously if it's windy, definitely not. But like the perch area up on deck 18.
Is that not the nudist?
Yeah, but I'm not necessarily saying the nudist will be there at that point.
Well, no, unless your nudist getting married.
In which case, perfect place to do it.
And I think they prefer the term nurturist.
Nurturist.
Yeah.
Not nurturist.
A nurturist. A sweet nurturist.
That's a separate channel.
Oh, very niche.
Yeah. So I think the perch would be a good place to have it.
Yeah.
Well.
Or you could do it Austin Powers style where you have strategically placed items.
I think that's more how the camera works as opposed to you just having the items moving with it. Anyone else that you can think of? Or anything else that you would like to see them doing on it? Because obviously Richard Branson will be listening to this, I'm sure. So this is your chance to put your sort of pictures out there in terms of what you'd like to see them do.
I would like it to be, imagine coming down the roundabout stairs. Now you're going to have to be careful because those stairs are weird. But, like in Coming to America, it's like, this is your bride. Here she is. I can't do the song.
You'd like to see some of the happenings cast involved.
Musically accompanied. Yes, I didn't do it very well, but yes.
I think it'd be fun to get some of the happenings cast involved.
Yeah, yeah.
I would like to see them doing something.
The diva do vow renewals and things like that.
Oh, that'd be fantastic.
Yeah, so that's my idea. If that's another thing.
If the Virgin, you need to make that happen. The diva doing the vow renewals would be amazing. Because I would be definitely up for doing the vow renewals on Virgin if it was the diva doing it. Yeah,
because I think in respect of maritime law, it has to be a senior officer that does the wedding, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So maybe they'll have to make some of the happenings cast. I don't know what.
I don't know.
What they'll have to do.
Oh, I'm sure.
Calls?
Calls on weddings.
No.
I think you can do that online pretty easily.
No, I didn't mean it like that. I meant for navigating via the stars.
Okay. Any final thoughts?
No.
Well, that brings us to the end of this episode, then.
Goodness, I feel like we have had a therapy session there. Well,
cheers.
Cheers. Thank you for listening and have a lovely day.
Or watching.
Oh, you can do it both ways, can't you?
You can.
Hot or cold.